All right, here's BB7. So solve for z. Z squared minus 4z plus 3 equals 0. I want you to think back to the z's that you were doing when you had the picture representation where you had to look at the bottom of the pictures where it might have like two x's, so you knew that was 2x, and then the 3 1, so 2x plus 3 multiplied by the outside, and that might say x plus 2. And you took those were the factors of the quadratic that was in the middle. So if you've done that one, you know they took you through the factors first, and then they took you through what happens if you multiply these factors, you get your quadratic. We're going to move backwards. So we've done this, and we will be practicing this on Wednesday and Thursday on really how to take these apart. So when I say Wednesday, Thursday, I mean the 7th and 8th. That's what I'm talking about. So first things first, we want to think about what numbers to multiply and what numbers to add. So we're going to use the AC method. And the AC method just basically says that you're going to determine what your A is. It is 1. Your B is -4. And your C is 3. So we're going to take A multiplied by C. So 1 multiplied by C, which is equal to 3. So that gives us 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. Then we take the factors of 3, and we want them to add to -4. So if I look at 3, and I think about the factors of 3, well, the only factors of 3 are 1 and 3. But I wanted to add to -4. Now, one of the tricks of this is if we have a negative here and a positive here, that means that both of these numbers will be negative. So I would have -1 plus -3, that equals -4. Now, say you don't remember that. You just try all different forms of 1 and 3. So I could say 1 and -3. I could say -1 and +3. But if I add that, 1 minus 3 is -2. -1 plus 3 is +2. So you can try different forms just in case you don't remember what I just said. Now, once we've gotten this, we choose our factors. So remember, I was looking for the factors of 3 that add to -4. So that would be these factors. The AC method works this way. I take my first term and I write it. I take my last term and I write it exactly as I see it. Now, all I'm going to do is fill in the middle terms. Remember, I said they have to add up to the middle. The factors of 3 have to add up to the middle. Well, I'm just going to break the middle down. So I have -1z, because this is 4z, and then -3z. Put them in parentheses. This is called factoring by grouping. I'm just grouping numbers together. Then I'm going to take out my greatest common factor. So the greatest common factor of z squared minus c is z, and that leaves me z minus 1. The greatest common factor of this -3z plus 3 is actually -3, and you'll see why I took that out, and then z minus 1. Notice that these two are exactly the same, and that's what you want. So what happens is the outside becomes one factor, and we write the factor that appeared twice only once. So that would be z minus 3 and z minus 1. Now, since we are solving the quadratic by factoring, we know we have to set both terms equal to 0. So z, therefore, would equal 3, and z would equal 1. And these are the numbers that you're going to put in. If there are multiple answers, separate with a comma. So 1, comma, 3. All right, let's take a look at the next one. So this one's a little bit easier because we don't have a trinomial, we just have a binomial. So we've got v squared minus 32v already set equal to 0. Well, I already have a greatest common factor, it's v. So v minus 32 equals 0, set both equal to 0. Oh, they gave us a nice one here. So we already know one of the answers is 0, the other answer is 32. Same thing, so I won't do this one, I'll look for a different one. Alright, so here we've got h squared plus 16h plus 15 equals 0. We multiply a times c, and we get 15. We want the factors of 15 that add to 16. So think about that. What are the factors of 15 that add to 16? Well, that's not going to be too hard because both of these are positive, so we know our factors are positive. So even if you do 1 and 15, 3 and 5, that's 16 and 8. So our factors are 1 and 15. So we're going to do h squared plus 1h, and then we're going to do 15h plus 15, still setting that equal to 0, or take out an h and we get h plus 1. Take out 15, we get h plus 1. Remember, these are the same, so we only write them once. And then we make a factor out of these two. So that would be h plus 15, set that equal to 0. H plus 1, set that equal to 0. So h is equal to negative 15, and h is equal to negative 1. You might want to back that up and watch it again. Alright, so we've got t squared plus 21t plus 20 equals 0. And again, we're going to take our a times c, so 1 times 20, and we get 20. We want the factors of 20 that add up to 21. All of these are positive, so we know that all of our factors of 20 will be positive. So we've got 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Add them up. This is 21. This is 20. Oh, no, it isn't. It's 12. And this is 9. So our factors would be 1 and 21. So I would say, okay, t squared, and over here is 20, and then I'm going to put these in, plus 1t plus 20t, parentheses around both, take out what's common in the first one, we take out a t, and that leaves us t plus 1, take out 20, and that leaves us t plus 1. These go together, write them only once. These go together. So our factors would be t plus 20. I keep doing that, so equal to 0. T plus 1 equals 0. So t is equal to negative 20, and t is equal to negative 1. Oh, negative 20. Now, if you notice on this one, our a term is larger than 1, but it doesn't mean we treat it any differently. So we're going to do a times c. So 3 times negative 16 gives us negative 48. We want the factors of negative 48 that add to negative 2. So I've got 3p squared, I'm going to write that there, and then minus 16 here, and then we'll fill it in. So negative 48, so let's think of the factors of negative 48. Now, because I've got the last symbol here is negative, and this is also negative. That means that my largest factor is going to have to be negative. My smallest factor is going to be positive. So negative 48 times 1. Let's see. 2 times negative 24. 3 times negative 16. 4 times negative 12. 5, no, because this doesn't end in 5. 6 times negative 8. 7, no, because 7 times 7 is 49. 8, we've already got 8, so we don't need to go any further. Let's just add them up. This is negative 47. Negative 24 plus 2 is negative 22. Negative 16 plus 3 is negative 13. Negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. Found it. Took us a minute, but we found it. So we simply put inside our factors. Now I'm going to caution you right here. To make it easy for yourself, see what the factors have in common with what you have already written. I know that 3 is a factor of 6, so I'm going to put the 6 here. And I know that 8 is a factor of 16, so I'm going to put the 8 with this one. So I'm going to say, okay, plus 6p, put that in a set of parentheses, and then I've got minus 8p. I'm going to put that in a set of parentheses. So we've got 3p squared plus 6p. Well, they have 3p in common. That leaves p plus 2. Now here, I'm going to factor out the negative 8, and that leaves me p plus 2. When you have a negative, always factor out the negative. So these are the same. We write them once. We put these together. So that would be 3p minus 8, set that equal to 0. P plus 2 equal to 0. Well, we know that's going to be plus 8 on both sides of the equal sign. So that's 3p equals 8. Divide by 3, divide by 3. P therefore is 8/3. We don't have to do that much work on this one. P therefore is equal to negative 2. All right, before my computer cut off, we had a problem that kind of looked like this, and I wanted to make sure I did this one, and then we're going to call it a day on this. So I listed out steps here that might guide you. First, I want to see if there's a GCF, and there is. It's 4. So I'm going to divide every term by 4, and that gives me 15t squared minus 4t minus 3, and that still equals 0. Next, I'm going to multiply my a times c, and that gives me negative 45. Then I'm going to take the factors of a times c that add to my b, which is this term right here, negative 4. And I'm already in my head thinking that it's going to be negative 9 and positive 5, because if I add those equal negative 4. So then I've got, oh, let me not write that far over. Then I've got 15t squared. And I'm going to group 15t squared, and then I'm going to write negative 3 here. I'm going to put the 5 with the 15 because I know those are factors of each other. That's 5t. And then I'm going to put negative 9t with the negative 3. So here I factor out 5t, and I'm left with 3t plus 1. Here, if I factor out negative 3, I'm left with 3t plus 1. These are the same, so I write them once. These are the other two factors. So that would be 5t minus 3 equals 0, and then 3t plus 1 equals 0. We'll add 3 to both sides here, and we get 5t is equal to 3. Subtract 1 from both sides here. We get 3t is equal to negative 1. Over here, divide 5 on both sides. T is equal to 3/5. And over here, divide by 3 on both sides. T is equal to negative 1/3. So these are the zeros, roots, and solutions of this problem. All right.